And Snappii has developed a platform that will basically allow you to go in there, drag and drop a couple fields, and click a couple things, and basically you'll have an app on your phone that you created yourself, and it works how you want it to work, and ask the questions that you want it to ask. So the only way, I'm just going to jump right into it. The only way to access the Snappii Labs is by Googling it. There is a way to get to it on our main website, but it's a pain. So just Google it. Just Google Snappii Labs, just like that. I'll show you what that looks like really quick. And you can see it's the first one that comes up, this create mobile apps without coding. All right, cool. So once you're in here, the first thing that you want to do is make an account. That'll be up here. It'll say log in, sign up, and whatever else. So just go ahead and sign up, and then go to this page, and then you're going to click Enter App Builder. You might get an error sometimes when you click Enter App Builder about contacting us or something like that. Just go ahead and send us an email, and then we'll fix that up for you. It happens sometimes to some of the newer accounts. All right, so what do we want to do from here is it gives you options basically to pick from templates. And what templates are, it allows you to kind of have a, what would be a good way to, a jumping off point for when you are going to create your app. So let's say, for example, you are in the construction industry and you're looking to make a construction log app or something like that. So I'll type in the construction, and then I'll look through here and I'll be like, okay, which of these fits my bill? Say you're doing specifically excavator inspections or a loader inspection, you can kind of cater the template to fit your need. Keep in mind though that anything you see in any of these templates can be customized. So this is really just for you to have kind of a baseline, and so that you don't just kind of jump into the editor without anything at all. So we had two construction daily reports. I'm going to use the second one over here. This is the more updated one. I'll press select and continue. On this next screen, you'll be able to click your color. Pick your color. Don't worry too much about this because you can change it later on, and you can change it more specifically. Say you want like this specific line to be a different color, you can do that. So I'm just going to click a random one. We'll go with one that looks like my business, and then give it a little bit to load. This part sometimes takes a bit. And there you go. Now you're inside the app template. So from this app template, we can basically do a couple things. We can preview the app. So if I click here, it will basically function the same way it would if I were on the phone. Or I can also click on the top left right here, and you can see there's the different options that I have over here. So let's get started here. Let's try to make our own form. I'm going to go ahead and take this RSS and this notification stuff out. I actually don't need both of those guys. And let's take out the reports thing as well. Let's just make a report from scratch. So what you can do from here, basically there's the new widget and the new form button. New widget allows you to kind of browse through our widgets, which are also kind of, you can think of them the same way as templates, but on a smaller scale. They're one piece of the app. So, for example, if you wanted to have a business card in your app or a weather checker in your app, or a way to access Facebook and social media, you can make that as well. However, I'm not going to be going through widgets today. I'm just going to be going through the form, as I believe that's what people are more interested in seeing.
The broadcast is now starting.
So
all attendees
are
in listen-only mode.
Form, and I'm going to go ahead and click Build Form. All right, cool. So now we're in the form editor, and we had the option to add fields, subtract fields, and customize the look of it a little bit. So usually what we do here is we'll ask the client, customer, user, whatever you want to call them, for a form or something that they already use for their business. And what we do is that we'll take that form and we'll convert it into an app that works for that business. Excuse me. So I have a PDF here that I'm going to use as an example for this. It's actually not a construction PDF. It is a PDF that I got from a client of ours that is they rent out surfboards and surf equipment. They basically have a business on the beach, and that's what they do. The reason why I'm going to use this really quick instead of a construction log is because construction logs are super complicated, and it's just a lot easier. So we'll just use this really quick. Whoops. We'll just use this, and I think this will give you a good idea of how this works and how you can manipulate this to use it for your business. All right, so from the top, let's kind of break this down. So the first thing you'll see on this form is Live Water Surf Shop Rental Agreement. why don't we go ahead and change this up here to rental agreement. So now we have a form that's titled something. And let's change this form description to Live Surf. What's the name of the company? Live Water Surf Shop. Cool. So let's click apply. And now we have like a little thing going on here. It looks a little bit more legit. All right, so first part. Let's do this little section right here. This is easy. So the first part is name. So what you would do basically is, so I see this field is name. I'm going to go over here to the left and look at my fields that I have in my form editor. I'm going to see which one of these kind of lines up with name. So we do have basic fields that allow you to manipulate them a little bit more. We do have pre-built fields. So I'll show you the difference between getting a pre-built field and the regular text field. So you see the pre-built field already kind of comes with two different sections for the person to enter in their name, and it gives you a couple different ways to list off the fact that you want their name. So the way I like to do this is I'll put something like, for the title, I'll put full name. And then these little first and last down here, I don't think it's really necessary since we have it inside. So the way this works, field name is going to be for something else. Don't worry too much about field name for now. Placeholder will be the text that's inside, and instruction text will be the text that's on the bottom. Title is usually the text that's on the top right here. So I'm going to take away these two instruction texts, and now you can see I have a full name field and I have two sections for first and last. You could do the same thing with this, except you'll only have one section. Like say for example I wanted to type in full name, and then or actually here, let's do it this way. Let's say the title is name for that field, and then the placeholder text will be full name. So now as they're scrolling through this, they'll be like, okay, I'm typing in my name, and then this will allow them to recognize that they need to type in their full name, not just one name. All right, cool. So that's one field. Let's go to the date. So same deal with date. We have the text numbers field, which you can manipulate into being the date, which actually I prefer more for this one. Or you can just do date and time. Date and time allows you to basically capture the date and time without the person knowing that you're capturing the date and time. That's not really necessary for this particular application, but for some people that are going to be using it for field work, if you want to capture employees' logs and stuff like that, you can capture their exact location without them knowing that it's being captured. So it's useful if you have employees that you think are goofing off or whatever. So say the title's date, we'll change the placeholder to kind of the format that they use for dates. And then there's a couple different options that you can use down here. For example, you can use the current date time as default. What this will do is it'll automatically capture the date and time information, so you won't have to actually input this in yourself. Or you can input it in yourself, whatever you want to do. This thing is, like I said, fully customizable, so you can do basically whatever you want with it. All right, so this last section here, we have address, city, state, and zip. Those are all kind of the same thing, so we can work with that. Again, there's the address field. However, there's one big reason I don't like this is because it adds so much text to what would normally only be 3 lines. If you do it this way, you're getting 6 lines. So let's chop this up. I mean, you can use this if you want, but let's chop this up. I'll show you how to do it the harder way, since that way will probably make more sense to you. All right, so there's 3 fields here: address, city, and state and zip code, and we'll just throw in that cell phone field at the end there. So I went ahead and added 3 fields. Let's add one more field for that cell phone field. And now let's change the name of these fields to line up with what I have on this form. So first one's going to be address. Second one was city. Third one was, was it zip code? Yeah, state and zip code. State and zip code. All right, so I noticed right here that this section in particular has 2 different things. So let's make this a little bit sexier. So for state and zip code, instead of asking on one line, let's use the name field since it gives us 2 different blocks, and let's separate it into 2 different things. So we'll say this one is state and zip code, we'll say area. And then we'll say the first field name, or the first placeholder, will be state, and the second one will be zip code. Let's delete all this other stuff that makes it look like it's a name field, not a state and zip code field. There you go. So now you have area on one line. You have and then the state and zip code on another line where it's not kind of together like this. Keep it organized. No reason not to. The last one I remember was the cell phone number. Cell number. Let's put some placeholder text like this so that we have the correct format. And there you go. We have kind of a quick draft of the form that this specific app would use. One more thing I want to show really quick before we jump into how to get this on your phone. We also have things like drop downs and radio buttons here. So one good way you can use that, for example, I see on this form right here, there's a couple different options for what I can check. I can click this like bodysuit looking thing, this surfboard looking thing, or this boogie board. So let's say, for example, you're trying to figure out, okay, Mr. Customer, how many of these things do you want, or which one do you want to begin with? Even like what are you trying to get? So let's change this to item. We'll leave the group name blank, and then we're going to go ahead and change our different options here to the options that are on the form. Boogie board. So there you go. So now we have 3 items that they can pick from, and all they have to do is click here. And then if you want to get technical with it, you can go ahead and add like a quantity field down here. Here, I don't even have to abbreviate it. Why not? Just type in the whole thing. Quantity. Just delete all that. And there you go. Now I have kind of a quick draft of this surfboard form rental thing. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put this on your phone. So this part is actually the easiest part of the whole thing, surprisingly. So let me pull up. I have a program that will allow you to see what I'm doing on my phone, and think that will make a lot more sense for people. So one thing you need to do before you even get started on this process, let me pull up my bookmarks really quick. There is a app that you need to get in order to see other apps from Snappii. So how you're going to find that app is you're going to go to the App Store and go type in Preview My Apps. And what Preview My Apps is, it's an app that Snappii has created, and it's basically a prototype app. So you would sign into it, which I'm going to show you how to do now, and a list of the apps that you've created on your account will show up here. So it's a really useful tool for testing things out and making sure you got everything the way you wanted it. So I'm going to exit the app builder now. It's going to ask me if I want to change. Save all the changes. I'll press yes. All right, don't know what's going on there. Okay. Anyways, we'll just keep continuing on here. We'll keep pressing on. Where was I? That threw me off. Okay, so let me pull up Reflector really quick on my on the desktop so you guys can see what's going on here. Pull this up right here. Reflector. Yeah, yes. All right. Let's do that. AirPlay. And now we have my phone. Like magic. Okay, so we already saved, and we're going to go ahead and publish this app. I'm going to go press save and run on device. Do 2 things at once here. Press OK there. This is another customer's account, so I'm going to log out. Now give it a second to do its thing. It's going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to go ahead and log in over here. And don't try to use this password because it won't work. If you're trying to get into my account, do some shicey stuff. All right, cool. So we can see now it says run the app on your device now. Perfect. So now we're good to go. All right. So the one that we were working on was this first one up here. This is Construction Daily Log. Let's click that guy. I actually don't need to look at this anymore. Let's just make this the focus. All right. So now you can see the form that I just created. Boom. Right there. Full name. So say first. My last name is Snappii. Other way to put full name. Date. You can see it automatically grabbed it for me. Address. This is another one that you can set it so that it automatically captures, but we'll just say I live in Neverland, in the city of Idaho. I don't know. Oh, that's not a city. All right, we'll say the city of Burlington in Idaho, and the zip code is like a bunch of zeros or something. Cell number, blah, 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 whatever, doesn't matter. And then item, we have either surfboard, wetsuit, or boogie board. Let's click boogie board because I like the boogie, and I'm getting 6 of those puppies. Perfect. So now I have a bunch of information filled here. If I press submit, your form is successfully submitted. And a very, very rough PDF, but yes, it does contain all the information that we had in the form. And there you go. That's your daily report. So I know that I kind of catered it specifically towards a surfboard rental shop, but I want everyone to recognize that you can use this for basically whatever you want. You want to customize it so that the form asks a bunch of silly questions or whatever you want. Like I said, it's possible. There's a lot of other stuff we could do with our platform. However, I do not have the time or possibly the know-how to show you all the stuff that we can do with our platform. So if you have a specific thing that you would want to see if we can do, please feel free to contact us. Our email is support@snappii.com, or you can email me directly at steven@snappii.com. So that's basically it for the form, guys. If you want an email with the different links for the preview app and the Snappii Lab, go ahead and let me know in the chat. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and upload this to YouTube, and I'll leave the links in the description for anyone that wants to check it out. Other than that, I thank you for coming into our webinar today. I will be holding another one this afternoon, probably talking about the same stuff. So if you have any other questions, you can just drop by for that as well. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.